The Adelaide Crows will play in the finals in 2001, no doubt about that based on what we just saw, and they might give it a shake as well. 38 points their winning margin over Hawthorn today at Football Park. A break and then the boys are back along with Ben Cousins for Basil's Footy Show. See you in just a moment.
This telecast presented by Bank West, we hear you. Bunnings Warehouse, lowest prices are just the beginning. And SGIO Motor, major partner of the West Coast Eagles.
The challenge.
Hi.
Hi.
To take cucumber, chicken and chives and turn them into a meal.
So it's for real?
Yeah. This is going to be some fun now.
You'll be surprised what you can cook up tonight on 7 Surprise Chef.
In case you missed last night's Cash 3 winning numbers, they were 6, 6 and number 1. Good luck.
Bunnings Warehouse, lowest prices are just the beginning. Bank West, SGIO Home, major partner of the West Coast Eagles. WA Salvage, they're not fancy but they're cheap.
Studios of Channel 7 Perth, throughout Western Australia, this is Basil's Footy Show! And now will you please welcome the host of our show, Basil Sinclair!
Thank you, Slim. Yes, thank you, Carl. Round 21 in the AFL, and here we go again for the second last time. Can you believe that? Melbourne played Fremantle today. We saw what happened. The Dockers down by 35 points, and last night it was the West Coast Eagles and Essendon. 89 points to margin in favour of the Bombers. We've got first time ever, Carl Barra, just the inner sanctum, 2 scratchings in one program. Has that ever happened? Scotty Waters crook and Maney crook. Cheerio to the boys. They've been replaced though by a couple of legends, haven't they?
Yeah.
Very.
Might be hard to get their spot back.
Could be a blue, boys. Please welcome Peter Wilson and Craig Turley. How about this? 4 former West Coast Eagles, 3 premiership players, and everybody on the panel works at 6PR. Incredible.
How's Till's hair do? It's magnificent, mate. That is a magnificent do at the moment.
Thank you, Adrian.
Yes,
I'm going to grow it while I've still got the choice. There's a lot of players that I played with a few years ago that haven't got much hair, so I say go the long hairs.
Well, it's
looks good.
A good way to introduce Peter Wilson with short hair down the other end. Where have you boys been? Willow, what have you been doing?
I'm just running hotels, Basil, and doing a little bit from 6PR, of course, and I just allow Turls to do all the hair growing. It's noticed it's coming out of his nose as well. So
I know, I'm going to be one of those old fellas with hairy ears and
hairy
nose and all those things.
And Turls, while we've got your short-lived comeback, in the end the back just probably no good.
Yeah, that was it, Baz, basically. Yeah, my body just wouldn't stand up to the rigours of playing footy, but I can still have a kick in the park, and I've enjoyed the year in the assistant coaching capacity at West Perth. You know, reserves are still in the finals this weekend, so yeah, we're still alive.
Well, boys, sorry to throw you all in at the deep end, but we've obviously across the story on the back page of the Sunday Times about Ken Judge. It's the back page of everybody's mind at the moment. Ken Judge's future. Willow, would you like to kick it off? Where is he at?
Oh, look, I'm not too sure, Baz. I think, look, it'll be in the hand of the board, I'd say, next week. It's not going to be easy for Ken. I think it'll actually come down to a dollar call. I don't think it actually has anything to do with with Ken's ability to coach. I think it'll come down to the marketing opportunity that a particular ex-West Coast Eagles captain may bring to the football club.
Right, well, there's been a few of them, but I think
they'll give him the flick for sure, Baz. I mean, otherwise they would have come out. No, they will. And I'm not saying this is a joke to get at Ken Judge because he's a bad coach or a bad bloke or any of that. But unfortunately, what the club hasn't done is they haven't come out and backed the bloke up. They haven't come out and given him the support that he needs. And to me, that indicates that there is something going on behind the scenes. And this place is very small, and there's a lot of rumours filtering around at the moment. The thing is, that, and quite frankly, that player group is not good enough. There's blokes running out onto that field that just aren't playing hard enough, passionately enough, and until they can all combine and get better collectively, then there's not going to be success. It's not Ken Judge's fault.
But Carl, in saying that, is the playing group, the existing player group, underperforming? Is that the coach's responsibility?
Oh yeah, I think in certain cases it is, but the players have to be able to coach themselves and get that inner motivation.
Carl, both coaches had something to say about Ken Judge's future last night. Kevin Sheedy kicked it off. Here's what he had to say last night.
I always think back to what happened with myself and the club at Essendon in 1997 when we were 14th. And then since then we got fined, $500,000 and lost draft choices, but we worked hard. And we didn't necessarily have to get rid of a coach. It's about backing each other up and being a very close-knit club and working through your challenges. I mean, the easiest thing in the world to do is get rid of coaches. And the hardest thing is to go and find good ones.
I think 17 of our, what I would consider our best 22 players have missed 160 games of footy this year. It's a lot of footy, and it makes it very hard. There's a review going on in the club. I can quite understand the review going on in the club, and I'm part of that review.
Do you accept that you would be part of it?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
If they say that your man management skills aren't good enough and your communication skills, would that be a fair criticism, do you think?
I think we've had enough, mate.
No, I'm putting on your side here.
Okay, so it was pretty tense last night. Barra, you fired in that question that created the tension. Did you get a chance? Well, what actually happened?
Mate, basically, sometimes as a journalist, you do have to ask the hard questions, and it happened to Damien Drum, it's happening to Ken Judge. And I had seen the Sunday Times, and I'd seen what they'd written. They've written that Ken Judge will be sacked after the last game, so I had to ask him, and that was his reaction. I have spoken to Ken since, and it's been all sorted out. There's no dramas there, but I don't reckon he's gone yet. I mean, the Sunday Times has said he is gone, but hang on, Carl, I still think he's 70-30, and I agree with Willow. It'll be a marketing decision if they give him the flick, but I reckon it might be the wrong move just at this stage.
But don't you think, mate, they would have come out after what we just saw happen? I mean, we've seen that on the news already prior to this on Basil's Footy Show. Wouldn't they come out and give him some support? That's what I mean. I mean, last night there were people in that room that saw him walk out under pressure. Now, today, if they really wanted to back him up and support the coach, they would have done that, I would have thought.
But there might be an internal struggle going on in terms of the board.
Oh, there is. There is, Barra. There is for sure. There's no doubt.
What the Sunday Times says is secondary. I mean, obviously the jury's still out, and the club going through the process of their review. They've got to sit down as a club and as a board, and they have to make the decision. The decision's still not made.
Do you think
you've got to have a replacement, surely? I mean, if at the moment they're sitting back and discussing all this, there's no one signed. So there's no guarantee, if it be John Worsfold coming across the Nullarbor, there's no guarantee that John Worsfold will take the job at the moment.
It's true, but I guess it's an economic decision for the club. If they have to look at paying out $1 million for paying out Ken Judge's existing contract, then that's a big decision to make for the club, isn't it, in terms of their financial viability, so they've got to consider all those things.
Well, again, the same reason that they'll be looking at John Worsfold.
If it is Worsfold, what does he bring to the club then? Why Worsfold? Is he going to be a fantastic coach? Is it the marketing? What is it about?
I think it'll come down to... There's two things about it. So far, I guess Ken's under pressure. And there is factions within the football club and within the media that don't like losing games of football. That's one. Two, you've got to look at the other thing, is that sponsors are going to jump off board and jump off. So spectators and the members, if they start dropping off, you're talking about millions and millions of dollars. So sometimes it'll come down to an economic scale. There's no doubt about it. And Worsfold would give the club another 12 months to turn it around.
Yeah, they've got to get it back to winning on the field, though, don't they? I mean, it's quite simply.
What do you guys reckon? I mean, there's a survey now in the Sunday Times where you can ring up and have your vote. Should Ken Judge be sacked? Well, okay, let's have a crack.
Sacking Ken Judge is not going to fix the problem.
Don't dodge the question, Carl.
I just said sacking Ken Judge.
Should Ken Judge be sacked? No, for Carl?
Well, I said at the beginning of the year, before there was any of this speculation about Ken Judge's job now, that it was only a matter of time before he went and before Johnny Worsfold would come back, and I thought that it'd be the end of this year, and I still think that's going to happen.
So you think, yes, he should be sacked?
I think, yes, that his position needs to be reviewed, and it's maybe time for someone else to come in. I think the team's been underperforming, and if the three key elements of a coaching position in the modern era are man management skills, communication and teaching, not sure if he's actually got those skills.
You're a premiership player, mate, 170 odd AFL.
Look, I played under Ken Judge as well, and I enjoyed Ken as a coach. No, I don't think he should be sacked as a coach. I think Ken has the ability to take the club to the next step. It's my own personal opinion. If it came down to a business decision, I'd be bringing over John Worsfold, so I can wear two caps. One as a coach, I'd like to see Ken Judge stay there. Is there any possibility of creating a marriage? Keep Ken Judge for another 12 months and bring Worsfold over as assistant?
Ken Judge was able to take a club to the next step. Why did Hawthorn? Why wasn't he kept on at Hawthorn last year after he'd done the development work and obviously done lots of work with them? And obviously he was seen by the club hierarchy there not to be able to take him to the next step.
He will be stiff, won't he? I mean, if he gets sacked, whatever happens, he's going to be stiff. That's going to be the bottom line. 17 out of
Ben Cousins, isn't he?
17 out of his top 22 players have been injured this year for a total of 160 games. No Morrison, Braun, Cummings, Sierakowski, Reid. He's going to be stiff, isn't he? Let's be honest.
Happens to all clubs. You can only work with what you've got, you know. You can't focus on what you haven't got out there.
Boys, we'll leave it there. Informed opinions, and they all are. You would think, wouldn't you, a betting man, that it's looking like John Worsfold. Let's have a look at the results for round 21 in the AFL. Nice and tense in here too. Melbourne over Fremantle. Essendon over the West Coast Eagles. Port Adelaide, they're the real deal. They smashed the Western Bulldogs. Carlton over Collingwood. It's all over for Mickey Malthouse's team for this season. Richmond defeated the Kangaroos. Matty Richardson with a goal right at the end. And Adelaide, good team. The game we just saw on replay on 7 over Hawthorn. Brisbane defeated Geelong in Hocking's last home game. And Sydney defeated St Kilda. Let's have a look at the ladder, and boys, is that it? It's all over?
Yep,
That's the top 8?
That's the top 8, Baz.
There can be some change in the 8, can't there?
Yeah,
but that is the top 8.
Carlton you would expect to go to fourth place because Richmond take on Essendon, and I'm going to back Essendon. I think most of us in this room would after we saw them just absolutely thrash the Eagles, and the Tigers I don't reckon are the real deal.
Okay, let's have a look at the waffle results. Interesting round of waffle. East Perth defeated South Fremantle to grab the second chance. That game at Leederville Oval. Subi defeated Perth to make sure they stay in the top 4. Swan Districts beat Peel, a consolation victory. Bad luck for Peel Thunder. And Claremont, they sewed it up on top, defeating West Perth.
Looking forward to the Crawford report, which is going to be released on Monday in the review.
Tomorrow,
tomorrow, is it? Yeah, tomorrow. So, Peel Thunder, that may have been their last game.
Speaking of Peel Thunder, I wonder if it was. Kevin Sheedy is down at the football club. He's actually there as we speak. Well, he was a little bit earlier. And we sent Charlene Sirac down. Charlene's the girl that does the halftime entertainment at Subiaco Oval with Lockie Reed and works for GWN. And Charlene is with Kevin Sheedy right now.
Thank you, Basil. We are in the home of Peel Thunder. It is Rushton Park in Mandurah. I'm here with the great man himself, Kevin Sheedy. Kevin, obviously a fantastic win for the boys last night, and good to see them stay out onto the field for Kempy's farewell.
Well, look, we were really pleased with the win, but, I think Dean Kemp's just been a marvellous player, and we like Kalgoorlie. We like a little bit of the West over there in the Eastern States. We don't get over here often enough, but when a player like Dean Kemp, the career he's had, played over 260 games, and Norm Smith medal, a very, very good player, and a very, very good person.
And a fantastic send-off last night as well. Now, you've had a very busy weekend, not just with the game, doing a lot of other stuff around town. You're here in Mandurah today. Yeah. What's brought you down this end of town?
Well, to me, I just enjoy seeing a little bit of Australia, find out where the game of footy really is, and I think in the end, I see my great friend Betty Cuthbert's down, and Hayden Button Jr. Hayden and I travelled throughout Europe back in 1979 with the Galahs and Harry Beisel's team that went over then, so that's sort of 21 years ago, 22. And of course, just local football. I like to see where the footy game's going, and I think Mandurah, I come down here, I stayed at Mel Brown's place a couple of years back, and I really got to like the place, and so when they rang and asked when we were coming over to play the game, I thought, well, why not, And yesterday I was out at Bassendean at Swan Districts with John Todd and all the boys, and it was great to see Billy Walker and Barry Cable, and John Todd, so we had a great time.
And obviously very important to keep Peel Thunder in the waffle. It's a great club, and hopefully the tradition will continue.
Well, I can't understand why, to me, just Peel Thunder would be equivalent to Geelong, and Geelong's been great for our competition in Victoria, and of course in naturally central districts in Adelaide. So I can't work out why we're here to develop clubs, not sack clubs. So I'm not quite sure. I'll be very careful of the decision makers on this one.
All right, well, there you have heard it from the man himself, Kevin Sheedy, the coach of Essendon, from here at Rushton Park and the home of Peel Thunder. Thanks very much. It's back to you, Basil.
Bye, Basil.
Bye, Kev. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Kevin Sheedy. And he is fantastic for football. You've got to say that. Peel Thunder, we might find out tomorrow. Sean McManus played his 100th game. We'll take a break, come back and talk about that and much, much more.
I'm on the street. I'm gonna go where the bright lights in the big city meet, or with the ring guitar on fire. Desire, what city candle burning in my room, sitting like a needle and spoon over the counter with that shotgun. Pretty soon, well, everybody got one in the
Backyard bomb.
It could cost lives. Definitely had repairs.
Today Tonight uncovers illegal second-hand car deals in Perth.
Totally out of control.
Smashed and crashes, dodgy repair jobs.
Absolutely cheap.
A major investigation. Plus Perth Poms fight back. Sick of being bashed by West Australians.
They want to look at themselves.
Demanding an Aussie fair go. And burn the bulge.
It's so simple.
Bodies that never get fat.
I eat a lot.
A Perth system Kim Hughes swears by.
Best thing I've ever done.
Today Tonight at 6:30.
So, in a nutshell, that's what we're about. Right, Terry. For the umpteenth time, we're the four horsemen of the apocalypse. We do destruction, misery, etc., etc. Cars included. We want people to suffer. And this is what we do. You are SGIO Insurance. You are ruining what we do. One phone call, no paperwork, and everything's hunky-dory again. It's got to stop. You're making us look soft. We want to look apocalyptic.
Well, I'm afraid I can't help you with that one.
Buy now and save during Rickhart's big warehouse clearance. Big store-wide savings on cooktops and ovens, fridges and washers, dishwashers, TVs, DVDs, hi-fi and loads more. Rickhart's big warehouse clearance. Everything at warehouse direct prices. Now that's big.
Excuse me, do you have any jazz CDs?
This is a pet store.
Rex?
Visa, perfect for those unexpected purchases.
Excuse me, do you have any jazz CDs?
Visa, the world's #1 card.
Want to call overseas more often? If you're a Telstra Homeline Plus customer, you can now make a 10-minute call for no more than $1 with Telstra 0011. To the UK, New Zealand, USA, Hong Kong, Singapore, Canada or Ireland anytime for no more than $1 to these countries. So now you can afford to call family and friends overseas every day.
Forget socks and slippers, Marlowe's have some of the best value Father's Day bargains around, and they're all in their big Father's Day catalogue.
Brighton Dad's car with a set of 4 floor mats, only $17.95.
I need some of those.
Ibiza car pack including seat covers and a steering wheel cover, $34.95 a set.
What a fantastic saving.
Dad will love a 156-piece toolkit, just $79.
One of them. Can't seem to make up my mind. That's a bargain.
You can't beat the winning team at Marlowe's.
Check the catalogue out now.
For Father's Day, we have a big range of special gifts.
Here's something really different. A wine barrel water feature with Dutch pump. It's great with stones. Ideal pond with fish. Or water plants. And the price, don't pay $268 elsewhere. At WA Salvage, $179. And when you spend $15 on any Malay pots, you receive a 15-litre bag of potting mix free. Yes, $15 on any Malay pots and receive a free bag of potting mix. Only at WA Salvage.
Jim and the Fats at the breakwater tonight. The crew in the Russell Athletic crew gear. Colonial Stadium today. It was 35 points in favour of the Demons. Great first quarter by the Fremantle Dockers. It looked like anything was possible in McManus's 100th, Carl.
Yes, very, very competitive they were in the first quarter. Basil, and of course, kicking a goal in his 100th game and celebrating with the team. They really did show some good signs. Dion Woods and Hadrill there being tackled was very, very good. A young player who showed some good signs. No, he wasn't. Jeff Farmer with a snap. But he and Dion Woods, I thought, were very good. Bell very quiet, well tagged by Godfrey from Melbourne. Now, here's an incident that happened. Walker has fallen into the umpire. Now, the umpire's gone into the fence and then...
They're knocked out.
He has laid there.
He'll get life for that.
Why wasn't that a free kick? Shouldn't that be a free kick if you make contact with an umpire?
It was only a boundary umpire, wasn't it?
Oh, OK.
As you can see, Godfrey right on Peter Bell there, and one of the rare touches for the day. Only 9 kicks to Peter Bell, well below his best.
So, boys, what do you make of that performance?
I wanted to ask Carl. Oh, actually, I wanted an opportunity to express my disbelief at the way the game started, the Melbourne first goal. Did you see that? The goal umpire, the ball hit the goal umpire's leg, bounced back in, they kicked the goal.
Yeah, it was
What's going on there?
was not a goal, Barra, but as usual, there are decisions that go against the Dockers. I think the Dockers fans have been complaining about them for years, haven't they?
They were jinxed, Willow, today.
That's not going to help their performance.
Wouldn't have made any difference to the result, but it was a bad decision.
Boys, have a look at this. You might not have seen this, Mark, if you didn't see the whole final quarter. Russell Robertson, and look out for Dale Kickett's head.
Oh,
that's beautiful. We've got a couple of angles on this.
Now, coming forward when you're in the air and marking like that is pretty hard.
Great awareness. He never lost it, did he?
Watch Dale's head, though. He got that knee right in the back of the head.
It's like a missile, Robertson.
Now, Paul Salmon said it was the best mark of the year, better than this one, he reckons, which Tarrant took right back at the start of the season. And he reckons it was even better than the famous Gary Moorcroft mark.
No, I think he's just dreaming.
He's got excited.
It was all right. I mean, that wasn't that great.
That's the best mark. That is the best mark.
I mean, the only good part about...
That's different. He was surrounded by players.
But look at that. Up, leans back, and that is a great
It's
mark.
easy when you got to run at it.
What's the news on... Hey, Tells used to take screamers. Give us your expert opinion. Which one?
Tarrant under pressure, surrounded by players. You know, he had 4 or 5 players around him. The other 2 were pretty much one-on-one, and they both had a run at it. And, yeah, I reckon Tarrant's mark under that kind of pressure is a better mark.
Moorcroft's by the length of the straight.
I like Moorcroft.
Maybe it was more.
You would have taken it.
It was definitely a TV mark, the Moorcroft one, wasn't it? Looked fantastic.
Did you see Tills fly when he used to play?
Absolutely. I actually played a couple of games with Craig at Westport. That's my claim to fame. I tell people that I played with the great Craig Tiller, so to speak, played with the great Craig Tiller. You know what I mean? Colonial Stadium was where the game was today. You could be there next week thanks to Ted's Top Moments. Here's how.
Here's your chance to be at Colonial Stadium next weekend. Thanks to Qantas and HBF Worldwide Travel Insurance, you and a friend will fly to Melbourne and stay at the award-winning Bayview on the Park Hotel. We'll show 3 magnificent football moments, and if your vote corresponds with Ted's top moment, you could be on your way to Colonial Stadium. The winner will be selected at random from the moment that attracts the highest number of votes and will be announced in a 7 News update at 7:30 tonight. So here's Ted's top moments for this week.
Maybe could have done a little better. The kick was into the pocket. Leon Davis. Takes Archer on. Has to go back to Burton. Gets to within about 50. Check side kick is sensational. Unbelievable. What a goal. They're going to win. Burns, a high ball in towards Tarrant, Wellman and co. Was there holding on? Umpire says we'll play on. Tarrant does. He sprang, loses it. Davis, close to the line. Davis goes for goal. Kicked a sensational goal.
Call now. The phones are open until 6:30 this evening and we'll announce a winner at 7:30. You can enter as many times as you want, but kids, get mum and dad's permission before you call. You and a friend could be in Melbourne watching the football live at Colonial Stadium next weekend.
That's how it happens, and we will announce our winner tonight at 7:30. Boys, collectively, we've got 1 minute for you to tell us who's going to be the Dockers coach next season.
I heard Mark Harvey the other day. He was very confident in a talk.
Yeah, I don't think they've spoken to his management or him yet. I just hope they don't go for one of these blokes like Fagan and Connolly, who you've got to go for a bloke they can look up to.
I really don't know. I haven't seen a lot of the debate, but I'd second Will. I think Mark Harvey have to be front runner.
I reckon Terry Wallace is still a chance that he might come out of the woodwork, but I think Chris Connolly just ahead of Mark Harvey at the moment. But we'll just have to wait and see. But don't be surprised if Chris Connolly
Dennis Pagan, I reckon.
Dennis Pagan?
Yep. I reckon.
What about Ken Judge? Maybe still a possibility.
Kevin Sheedy?
That is a brain teaser. There are some brain teasers in this. This is, would you believe it, Doug Hawkins' Aussie Rules board game. Now, do you reckon the questions would be tough in this? Apparently Dougie wrote them. Carl, are you going to try that out for us?
Can you ask us the questions?
Can you take that home and play it tonight?
Yeah, I'll take it home and play it tonight.
And let us know how it goes?
No problem.
Fantastic. We'll
Get
get a
some
full
light
game
into a
entertainment.
review. For you and the missus tonight, Carl?
Yeah, it'd be
can
nice,
get it.
won't it? Glass of wine. What do you think?
1-800-400-999 if you would like to get a copy of Doug Hawkins' Aussie Rules board game. How about
What number
that?
to ring if you don't want to?
Just don't pick up the phone. We're going to take a break. Slim Jim and the Fats are at the breakwater tonight. Here's Sharon Dale.
You say that you never had a man and nobody needs you. So cry, so cry. You believe that life goes by just to deceive you. By your time, you're getting old, and the longer you take, the longer your faith will grow. It will grow. It will grow. You can give your life, you can lose your soul.
Shape seekers, plus the fresh faces of Fashion Week, or the opulence of a magnificent royal wedding. On the brink, why this baby is so important. In sport, Shane Warne racks up another milestone, and Eagles coach Ken Judge under pressure.
Want to make your dad's day? Then get into Bunnings Warehouse. We have thousands of great gift ideas all at the lowest prices every day. Like fresh petunia seedlings, $1.89. Top taste tomatoes, a bargain at $2.39. Lavender collection, $8.99 each. And fresh strawberry plants, $2.99. We won't be beaten on price, and that's guaranteed. Our Mindarie and Midland warehouses are now open. Bunnings Garden Centre. Lowest prices are just the beginning.
La 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 la.
See you, boy.
Alinta Gas. Instant economical energy for everyone in the family.
Relax. You've got RAC car insurance. If not, call 13 1704. RAC Insurance. We're there for you.
So it's me, mate. Sweet. Looks like I'm not going to be able to make it in.
Mate, that's a shame.
Yeah, I really wanted to see you wrap it up, mate. Could you do me a favour and put your mobile near the speaker and I'll hear it anyway?
We're going to be here for hours. It'll cost you a fortune.
Not with Telstra.
The most you'll pay is $1.98 per call from your home phone to a Telstra mobile any night with Homeline Plus.
Let's tighten that up a little bit, just in the middle. Oh, how does that sound to you?
Buy now and save during Rickhart's Big Warehouse Clearance. Big store-wide savings on cooktops and ovens, fridges and washers, dishwashers, TVs, DVDs, hi-fi and loads more. Rickhart's Big Warehouse Clearance. Everything at warehouse direct prices. Now that's big.
Hi boy, I'm home.
Vitamin B is important for building and repairing the body's cells and insides. And one of the world's richest sources of vitamin B is Vegemite. Vegemite, it's a part of growing up.
Here's this week's Hungry Jacks Eagles competition winner. Congratulations, you've won these great prizes and will be our guest at Subi. Remember, all entries go into a super draw for a chance to win a trip to the AFL Grand Final. Enter at any Hungry Jacks.
Yes, here it is, the most controversial segment of our program. Maybe the most controversial thing to happen on television all week. It is Rick Hart's Beat the Boys, and please join with me in welcoming our audience member for today, all the way from Dinella, which is just around the corner, Tamara Dragovic. Tamara! Tamara, welcome along. Who do you barrack for, Tamara?
Eagles.
The Eagles, right. So it's been
On the right show.
It's been a tough season for you, Tamara, but you've hung in there. Now, you're a mum at the moment.
Yes.
But you used to be a hairdresser, right?
Yes, that's right.
And that's why, boys, I've got to tell you, how's this for a topic for Beat the Boys? Groundbreaking stuff. Football hairstyles is our topic today.
Very important.
And there's three of the finest there. Football hairstyles. So why did you pick that topic, Tamara?
Well, I'm a hairdresser and footballers have hair, so why not?
Hey, good logic. That's the sort of logic that will get you ahead on this program. This is what you are playing for, Tamara. And Carl, of course, one of the famous hairstyles of the AFL in days gone by. World famous AWA exclusive at Rick Hart Hi-Fi Corporation. It's the mini shelf system with single CD, full Logic cassette deck, digital tuner, two-way bass reflex. All of that, it's all there from our good sponsors, Rick Hart. OK, let's test the buzzers and get into it. Carl Langdon.
It stinks in here. I'm going outside.
Thank you, Carl. Yes, Tamara? I don't know how that happened. Barra?
Was that Carl or Tamara? There you go.
I'm not a smart man.
Turles.
He's good. With my help, he could be the best.
Kind of suits that new intelligent look too with the glasses. Very intelligent. And Willow on the end.
Go ahead. Make my day.
Well done, boys upstairs. Here we go. Football hairstyles. Question number one. Which former Carlton star of the 70s and early 80s...
With my help, he could be the best.
I reckon Vin Cottogio, you reckon? Vin Cottogio?
Bim Cottogio?
No, the question was played with a headband. The answer we were looking for, yes, Carl, was Bruce Doull. So, the challengers. Headband, yes. Which current St Kilda star sometimes wears a
in here. I'm going outside.
Spider Everett.
Is correct, Carl, yeah. OK, boys, video question. Watch this vision and answer this question. What sort of haircut is this known as?
It's a mullet.
It is the mullet, yeah. Well done, Tamara. Now, Barra.
Who was that masked man?
Can you explain that, please?
The mullet was very big in the 80s, let me tell you.
And you
That's
wore
a poor
it...
mullet too.
Hey, Willow had one too, don't worry about that.
That was half a mullet.
That was, yeah.
You wore it so well.
Half a player, half a mullet.
Yeah. Well said, Willow. Well said. Hey, here's question 4. Who was the last redhead to win the Brownlow
It stinks in here. I'm going outside.
Yes, Carl.
The last redhead to win the Brownlow medal. Brad Hardy, 1985.
Is incorrect. No. Michael Voss. Oh, it's pretty tense and tight in here. In what year did Carl Langdon first dye his hair blonde?
1987, Basil.
Is correct, Carl. Yes. That's correct. It is all over. One question as we go out. Who was Carlton's bald 1995 premiership player? Yes, boys.
We'll do that one more time.
No. Answer, please.
What was the question? We say Mil Hannah because I'm not a smart man.
You would be correct, yeah! Got to declare our challengers the winners. Well done, Tamara, yeah! Well done, Tamara. You've done very nicely. You've picked up the fantastic prize, and you know what it is? It is the AWA exclusive Rick Hart mini shelf system with single CD. Have a good time, Tamara?
Yes, very much.
Fiery Phil, get it in there. Fiery Phil, another ex-Eagle on the program. There it is. Please thank Tamara, everybody. This has been Rick Hart's Beat the Boys. Well done, Tamara.
We won this game.
But have the Kiwis found one they can beat us at?
Oh, fantastic!
Now it's Australia versus New Zealand in the premier event. The Money Game.
You want to get those Aussies? We're sick to death of them doing us every single time.
Millionaires, stripped of all they've got, have 3 days and 10,000 to claw back a fortune.
Remember, we're a lot more intelligent than they are.
May the most ruthless win. In the Money Game, tonight, 7:30 on 7.
For Father's Day, we have a big range of special gifts.
Here's a classic gift. A full-size dartboard set. Wooden cabinet, dartboard, 6 darts, chalk and scoreboard, $39 the lot. Fabulous seat covers, $24.95 a pair. Look at the Sabco 44-litre wheelie cooler for only $49. Golf club sets, made in the USA, ideal starter kit with bag, were $199, now $129. That's the cheapest price in town. Only at WA Salvage.
It's time to experience the superior levels of service at a Metro Brick Selection Centre. It's where you'll discover which face bricks will best suit your particular style of home. And our specialists will ensure that you have all the options you need to make an informed decision on your investment. Helpful people, friendly people, approachable people. It's why the service is better at Metro Brick. More colours, more choice.
Been waiting here for hours, mate. Mate, I reckon we need some of those Viking bars. You got the keys?
Yeah.
Oh, you Viking with guarana! It's a chocolate bar with horns!
Action will keep your food bill down. This week a 12 by 375ml Coca-Cola bonus pack is $4.99. 1 kilo Spree laundry powder or concentrate is $1.79. And 1 kilo Brown's yogurt is $1.99.
Packed full of good taste. Action!
Buy now and save during Rickhart's big warehouse clearance. Big store-wide savings on cooktops and ovens, fridges and washers, dishwashers, TVs, DVDs, hi-fi and loads more. Rickhart's big warehouse clearance. Everything at warehouse direct prices. Now that's big.
The new release at Port Bouvard gives you a terrific ocean view home site from $75,000. Now the same site in Perth will cost you 5 times that. Buy an ocean view home site from Port Bouvard and you'll never look back.
Sick of renting? Then don't do it. Call HomeStart. If we can't get you a home of your own, nobody can. HomeStart, 9231 4567.
Says, oh, sorry, mate. Had to go to Sydney for approval. Can you believe that? 4 days, he reckons. 4 days.
We've heard some banks are trying to manage your business over East. At Bank West, our business managers can approve most deals themselves, right here.
It's Baz and Barra's Father's Day present. Thanks to Channel 7 and 882 6PR, you can send your dad to the AFL Grand Final. The package includes return airfares flying Qantas, 3 nights accommodation, a huge breakfast with the boys on Saturday morning, then it's off to the MCG for the big game. To win, jot down the code word from today's show and listen for the cue to call after 7 this week with Baz and Barra for breakfast on 6PR. Each day there's a fabulous Father's Day gift pack to be won with a $100 voucher from the West Coast Eagles team store, $100 worth of goodies from Marlowe's and Father's Day dinner for 2 at Burswood's Victoria Station. On Friday we'll announce our winner. It's your chance to say Happy Father's Day, Dad. Thanks to Channel 7 and 882 6PR.
On 6PR this morning, tomorrow morning, and all week is John. John, and Tony.
John,
our dads.
Our dad's names.
John and Tony. That's the code word, and you could be at the AFL Grand Final. You give it to Dad, you don't have to give it to Dad. Easy as that. Boys, West Coast last night against Essendon. What did you make of the game as we take a look at the highlights?
Oh, I thought the crowd were good.
Right.
Yeah, no, look, they just they tried very hard. You know, there was some good signs from a few players, but look, there's just I just don't think there's enough players that are up to consistent AFL footy. Certainly not to the quality of the opposition.
That's it. They sustained it for about 15 minutes, but Essendon were just able to step up, and their relentless pressure and their execution under pressure and their quickness around the ground, their willingness to work for each other.
And their options up forward. I mean, it's just powerful and potent down there. When you've got Hurd running around, Lloyd, Rioli chips in, kicks 3 or 4. Just too many guys can kick too many goals.
But they attack from the very last line of defence, don't they, right the way through, and they just do it so well.
Wilson kept on contesting all night. I mean, at 29, he's having a crack, isn't he? And there's no one at his feet. You know, like no one runs to the spot. He rarely, rarely gets outmarked. And
I guess they're a bit worried that he'll knock them over at the same time.
Possible. Can Essendon be beaten? Are they back-to-back premiers? Is it
they can be
that
beaten,
easy?
all right. Look at Port Adelaide. They're on fire in Adelaide.
The Bombers for me. I can't go past the
What about Brisbane?
I reckon the Bombers are just starting to hit their straps, actually. Yeah. They're just getting them back in, aren't they?
Brisbane are too weak in their back half. You know, they're just not strong enough to beat someone. I think Essendon really, if they get all those guys back, Blumfield sitting on the sidelines, Moorcroft at the Mark of the Year, and Michael Long as well. And there's 3 or 4 other guys on top of that. That is just an incredible lineup.
Right. If Carlton finishes 4th, though, won't they have to take on Essendon?
Yeah, they'll smash the Shires and Housen. No, they'll smash the Shires and Housen out of the Blues.
Okay.
After 2 losses this year, what do you reckon will happen?
Mate, I wouldn't write off, as I said, the Blues, and I think that they could probably knock Essendon off, which would be a big shock.
Sure would be. Hey, brilliant. Boys, something very special at Subiaco Oval last night after the game and also at half-time. And, of course, that was the great tribute to Dean Kemp, retiring West Coast Eagles. Great. Some of the people in the audience today were there last night. Wasn't this just a special moment?
I reckon this is almost the most touching.
Look at Sonny, he's stoked, isn't he?
Sonny doesn't reckon it's too special.
Sonny was overawed. Do you reckon it was the most touching out of all the greats that have gone round?
Oh, no, actually, I thought really Guy McInnes was a little more emotional than this one. But again, it's just become a great tradition, I think, with the West Coast Eagles when guys retire. I thought this was absolutely fantastic by Kevin Sheedy, the way he led his side out there. And he actually asked for permission to go into the square. It was just incredible.
Sheeds was unbelievable. Running around behind the camera, he was going, "You're a pest, Kempy. Good riddance, you're a pest, Kempy." Just jovial, and it was great to hear him, and here's a magic moment. Kempy will remember that forever. I reckon Chris Lewis's was the most emotional. I've done all of them, farewelling a lot of the blokes out there, and Chris Lewis's was enormous.
Hey boys, can I ask you, is there any greater compliment or honour to be recognised by your peers the way the Bombers recognised Dean Kemp? Is there any greater honour than that? For James Hird, the superstar, to come up and go, "Good on you, mate, you've been a superstar."
I think the other thing, also in print media this weekend, you've read that Anthony Stevens from the Kangaroos had sent a letter over, and a few other guys, Gary Hocking.
Yeah.
And it just really shows that Dean Kemp went about playing the game of Australian rules in the fairest way possible. He was just an ornament to the game. I mean, imbeciles like myself and Langdon, they weren't too happy with.
We asked
and we enjoyed doing that.
But isn't that?
That was magic.
Just to reinforce that point, that's as big as it gets, though. When the opposing team comes over, don't you reckon, Will it?
Yeah. Oh, there's no doubt about that, and especially from that side.
I mean, it's the respect that he earned from all the years, as you say, the way he went about it. But you're right, that was the ultimate accolade last night. And Kevin Sheedy, it was great to see. It's sad that we don't see that so many displays of sportsmanship in the modern era, But that was just outstanding last night by Essendon, and what a great person to acknowledge.
It'd be like Eddie Maguire ringing us up and saying, "Hey, your footy show's fantastic." It hasn't happened yet, but it'd be like that.
You're trying to tell us something? You're retiring?
I'm not trying to.
I'm ready to take over. You want some ratings, Baz? We'll pull your pants down or something.
No, we don't do that on this show. Let's hear it for Dean Kemp, everybody. Dean Kemp, as we produce this marvellous piece of memorabilia. Now, this is available at the West Coast Eagles team store. It's got some magnificent photos. It's got a replica of the Norm Smith medal that, of course, he won in 1994. And it is a limited edition of only 30, personally signed. There's some of the great photos. There's the replica medal. $395. There's only 30 at the West Coast Eagles team store. There's the number to call, 9388 4555 for a great West Coast Eagle.
That's pretty good value, isn't it? I can tell you, after he did that lap of honour in the car, Carl, you were out in the middle, he actually sat in the car for several moments like shaking.
Yep.
Just so emotional. He didn't show the emotion on the ground, but when it all finished, it touched his heart, I tell you.
What do you think, Willow? Good behind the bar?
Langdon will buy one because he's tucked in the corner there.
Yeah,
it's unusual for Carlo to have a can of drink in his hand too.
Look, Carl didn't even play and he's in the photo. It's brilliant.
Hey, I was an emergency, mate. At least I was still...
I was emergency too,
I was.
mate.
Tells and I
about
sat...
10 of us.
No, you weren't an emergency.
If you were on the side, we would have needed help from someone from emergency.
Was that 94 or 92?
That was 94.
94 was emergency for Perth.
His record.
Exactly.
Great. Just quickly, Willow and Turles, because we asked the other boys last week, where do you rank him in terms of the great West Coast Eagles?
We'll have a different lineup than most, but number 2.
Number 2?
Number 2.
Where's your number 1?
Give us your
Tony Evans was the best player that ever played for the West Coast Eagles.
Is that right?
When you needed to win a game, Tony Evans would jump fourth and win it for you.
Mr. September.
Yeah, I reckon Kempy, I would find it hard to split Kempy and Bluey just in terms of their consistency over that period of time. But Kempy just he finished off up forward. He was just an architect, and he was just so complete, overhead, and he just had everything. And
Can I raise the Jacko issue? Are we allowed to? Have we got time for that?
Go on, very quickly.
You guys, as you know, I respect your opinion. Glenn Jakovic, is he in the top 4 at the club of all time?
Oh, for me, no, he's not. No, he's not. I rate different players for different reasons. So Jacko's a fantastic centre-half back, finds a lot of the football the easy way for me, but I'd always look at guys that just absolutely got hammered in a game of football. Kemp, Evans, Heady, guys I throw it. It's funny, most of those are forwards.
Peter Matera?
Well, I don't know how... Jacko would definitely be in top 4. I mean, his record just speaks for itself. When it comes to debates about who's the been the best player in the league over time, I think about players like Michael Tuck, and it's just his record, the weight of numbers in his record that just says that he's the greatest player of all time. And I think for Glenn Jakovic, he has to be up there in the top 3 in the Eagles.
One man destined to be in the top 3. If he's not already, he's certainly working his way there, and he'll join us right after the break. Ben Cousins is up next on Basil's Footy Show. Don't go away.
You for the fall of Rome, and I begged you, so let me take you home. You were wrong, I was right. I said goodbye, I said goodnight. It's all been done. It's all been done. It's all been done.
Monday night, a Weakest Link special event.
I've been waiting for this one.
3 months in the house was easy, but can they survive 1 hour with Cornelia?
You meant to cause trouble.
Weakest Link Housemates Revenge, Monday 7:30.
With a powerful V6 and 47 models to choose from, Holden Rodeo. For all your dirty work.
Buy now and save during Rickhart's big warehouse clearance. Big store-wide savings on cooktops and ovens, fridges and washers, dishwashers, TVs, DVDs, hi-fi and loads more. Rickhart's big warehouse clearance. Everything at warehouse direct prices. Now that's big.
Passport.
Well, here we go.
It's got to be something we've forgotten.
There's one thing you should always take with you on holidays. HBF Worldwide Travel Insurance. Because the people who look after you here at home can also look after you overseas. So when you go on holiday, don't forget to take Ted.
What if we told you the powerful 1.8-litre Toyota Corolla was now down to just $19,990, including dealer delivery? That's right. Steal a current model Corolla for just $19,990 during Toyota's Gone in 30-day sale. Get power steering, driver's airbag, and air conditioning. Sensational value Corolla Ascent, down to just $19,990 with power steering and air conditioning. But only at your Toyota dealer and only while stocks last. Get in quick. It's a steal.
It's hard for them to leave their mums.
pups need lots of extra care when they go to the new homes. It's a new environment. They need someone to watch over them, make sure they're safe, and they need food that's specially made for pups to help them grow and to protect them.
Top breeders recommend Pedigree Puppy because it's a unique blend of quality ingredients and natural antioxidants that strengthen the immune system and protect your puppy from the start of life.
Simon's Seafood Restaurant have turned the clock back 20 years on the price for a 3-course set menu. Choose from Simon's mouth-watering dishes, and 3 courses plus coffee is only $22.50. Simon's Seafood Restaurant, 73 Francis Street, Northbridge.
Did she tell you? She quit.
No more cigarettes.
Gave them up in one hit.
It's tough, but it's the best way.
Total commitment.
And totally smart.
Yeah, well, Nicobate CQ Clear.
Last time I went cold turkey. I was bad company.
Yeah, there was this time when she got so...
With CQ Clear, I start with the highest strength patch and step down gradually. 3 steps forward, no steps back. That's my plan.
Nicobate CQ, helping you stay calm, in control and quit.
Now, let's talk about some of your bad habits.
It was one of the ugliest games of footy ever seen here in the West. It started when Brian Adamson was struck behind play during the second quarter of a West Perth East Fremantle tussle. Adamson's jaw was broken and he was taken straight to hospital for a 2-hour operation. No report was made on the day, but later in the week, Shark Lee Branton was suspended for 5 weeks.
I just remember leading across the half-forward line and someone running past and whacking me in the head.
That incident sparked an ugly second half of footy, with David Rankin also ironed out. Falcon Ben Jager copped a 3-match ban, and even current Eagles coach Ken Judge was flattened. What followed was disgraceful. Umpires David Johnson and David Rowe were attacked by supporters at the end of the game. It was Johnson's 4th waffle game. Extra police had to be called in to calm things down.
There's some memories flooding back there. Now, Charles, you would have been there that day, sitting on the hill, and well, I think you were thereabouts. So we saw Ken Judge in there, Ron Alexander was there. That was not a magic moment, but a very memorable moment.
That was my first year at Shark Park, and that was a great day at Falcons headquarters.
No, it wasn't.
It was. I know it wasn't. It's a bit ugly, but I enjoy a bit of that stuff.
Hey, Roger Kerr was out there too, I think, whose son Daniel is now
Ron Alexander was there. Billy Duckworth. No one was tougher than Billy Duckworth.
Johnny Duckworth? Johnny.
No, it was Billy, wasn't it?
No, Johnny there.
Johnny that we saw. He was tough as well. They're both tough.
There we go. Now, we've got a big announcement on today's program. It is the winner of our Footballer of the Year. Now, I think we probably declared it about... Yeah, we renamed it about halfway through the season, the Ben Cousins Award. Let's tell you what our runner-up gets, and we can tell you who our runner-up is too in just a moment. The Mazzucchelli's Tag Heuer watch, and the winner, of course, a trip for 2 to Singapore, staying at the Pan Pacific Hotel, and then a 5-night cruise on the Superstar Virgo to Phuket, Langkawi and Kuala Lumpur. It's all thanks to Qantas and Star Cruises. Very nice prize, and the hairdresser on the boat, well, not all that successful. Melbourne versus Fremantle. Carl did the voting. 3 to Woods, 2 to Hadrill and 1 to Carr. Also voting in that game, Barra. 3 to Carr, 2 to Parker and 1 to Woods, so some similarity there. West Coast and Essendon, Maney voted, Fletcher 3, Wilson 2 and Matera 1. And also voting, Carl Langdon, 3 to Fletcher, 2 to Troy Wilson and 1 vote to Richard Taylor. But we do have great pleasure in declaring that with 67, and there's still 1 week's voting to go, but he won't be here next week. Of course, the Eagles playing away. Our runner-up is Peter Bell with 38 votes, and let's make him welcome the winner of our Footballer of the Year for 2001, captain of the West Coast Eagles, Ben Cousins. First, let's get the formalities out of the way first. Congratulations, it's all in there, and well done on what's been a terrific season. Our runaway winner.
No, thank you, Basil. I obviously like to thank Star Cruises and Channel 7 and the West Australian for the award. And also my teammates in the footy club who, for their constant support throughout the year.
This could be a rehearsal, Ben, for maybe the first Monday of the last week in September.
Far from, really.
No hope? You give yourself no hope?
No, not really. No, I don't think so. I think there's been a couple of players that have been outstanding all year. And
Who do you reckon, mate? Come on.
I think Andrew McLeod. He'd be hard to beat. And Voss, Buckley, these sort of guys. But I've been reasonably happy with my year, but, certainly wouldn't be going there to expect to win that award.
Pretty
so.
tough yesterday, wasn't it? Was Heffernan following you around? Was he?
Yeah,
pretty good job?
he did a good job. He's a good player. I've played on him before, and certainly got the better of me last night.
Sorry, mate. Yeah, congratulations on a great year personally. I understand that the team success is always the most important thing, especially for you as a leader, but it's great that you get this individual recognition. What are you doing, mate, from here on in as the leader of the club in terms of getting the boys finishing off the season well and getting them focused on taking the next step next year? What do you do personally? I mean, obviously it's a big responsibility on young shoulders, but what can you do?
Yeah, well, it has been a tough sort of 8 or 10 weeks because probably our season was effectively not over, but we certainly couldn't make the finals probably 8 or 10 weeks ago. So it was probably easy for blokes to drop away and sort of say, listen, we've got nothing to play for. But I think, through those tough times, you've got to start to, build a culture and a work ethic and sort of, teach blokes to push through those tough times because you just sort of can't turn it on when you need to or when you want to. It's got to become part of the culture and part of every bloke's work ethic. So, it is tough times, and I don't know sort of the right or wrong way to go about it. I guess we just got to keep persisting with it and turn it around. I also think that sometimes it can seem so far away, and it probably did last night, that we're miles away from it. But you draft well, and players sort of improve 5 or 10% across the ground, and all of a sudden your side shapes up as a totally different team next year. So,
you're right. Well, once you go away, Cuzzy, with me on this trip, I think you'll come back fresh. I'd like to thank you for inviting me too.
That's all right, mate.
Mate, honestly, with the amount of injuries, though, it's been a pretty tough year. I mean, David Sierakowski, not one of the, stars of the lineup, but he would have been a great acquisition. I mean, would have been a bit like my red-headed bullfed mate down here who just used to bang and crash. So you really did miss someone like Sarah on your side.
Oh, yeah. So I think, everyone would admit that our list probably at full strength is even a little bit thin. But on top of that, we've had a lot of injuries and, we just haven't had the depth to cover it. And you look at a side like Essendon who, were in a remarkable situation where after 20 games or 21 games during the year, they've got a full list to pick from, and that certainly goes a long way. And to become a good side, I think you've got to have depth, and we don't have that at the moment.
Ben, as a player and as a captain, how do you feel when you have to wake up to stories like the back page of the paper today? Lots of speculation about the coach's future. Is that unsettling as a player and as a captain?
Oh, obviously. There's always speculation, and we saw. The effect it had down at Fremantle with Damien Drum. It does destabilise the footy club, and there's not much as players you can do about it other than just get on with it. I think even from a media point of view, it's a waste of time talking about that sort of stuff at this time of the year. Everything will be reviewed at the end of the year, and as it probably always is. And we're better off, I think, talking about the team's performance or how players are going and what we've got coming up.
All right, Daniel Kerr, can he win the Norwich Rising Star?
I think he's the man to beat, yeah. I haven't seen, obviously, a lot of the other players. I think there's been some good players during the year, but I think he's been outstanding.
I think he's a shoo-in, Daniel Kerr. The way he gets around the ground, the amount of punishment he's taken on that little body of his, he is just incredible. I think that doesn't go missing with the people who vote on the Rising Star. I think...
his attack on the footy,
I reckon the only bloke that might challenge him is Damien Peveril, who's not even on the list at the moment. Does he still qualify? But when he came into that team for Essendon, was awesome, don't you think?
Yeah, you're right. He's injured at the moment, though. Dean Kemp, wasn't that magnificent last night out in the middle? And the fact that the Bombers came over and actually congratulated him, I reckon that's the highest honour he can have as a player.
Yeah, I thought it was a nice gesture. I certainly I didn't expect to see them out there, and... to be recognised as your peers, I think you said it earlier, it's one of the greatest honours, and, he's respected right around the country, and he'd be sorely missed at our club.
He's got the mantle now, though, haven't you, Benno? It's all in your court now.
Oh, no, we've got a number of young guys that are coming on, and, I think the key to good leadership at a footy club is a core group of players rather than just 1 or 2 blokes.
Who wrote that for you?
Straight off your book, mate.
It's pretty good. Ben, congratulations once again. Thanks to Qantas and Star Cruise. I suppose you can enjoy that at the end of the season, or maybe save it up for a little bit down the track.
There's no news there, is there?
What do you mean?
A trip for 2, Singapore,
No, it's not.
Romantic?
Mate, I'm very much a single man at the moment, but I might want to...
Dear Peter.
Snap that up.
Did you see what Wayne Carey did the other day?
What did he do?
If you don't want it, well, he gave it to charity. So if you don't want it or can't find it,
you put the pressure on now. Thanks to
that
Qantas and Star Cruises, our footballer of the year, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, Ben Cousins. Give him a round of applause. Well done, Cousins. Byron, Phil, get these goodies in here. We've had a couple of special guest panellists. Thanks to Kalis Brothers, Millennium Florist, EA Sports and Benny's. Thanks to Turles for popping in. And Willow also for joining us on the program today at short notice. And make sure you take the right one.
Give that to Ben, man. I'm right.
And just before we go, just before we say goodbye, Turles, an incredible story. One of our great mates and one of WA football's longest-serving stars, if you like, Paul Mifka, incredibly struck down by a mystery illness.
Yeah, Guillain-Barré syndrome, I think it is. Yeah, it's a tetanus injection that went wrong and it's affected all the myelin sheaths around his nerves, so he's having a full breakdown of his motor neuron system, so he's virtually paralysed at this time, and he's really sick and facing the biggest challenge of his life. But everybody that knows Miff, I've known Miff since we were teenagers, and he's a great character and a great human being, and he's a great fellow.
He'll be okay? Does he need help?
He'll be fine in time. It's just going to be a long haul. It could be a couple of years for the full process of rehabilitation. He's going to get worse before he gets better, but all the best to Miff, and we all hope you're well and we care about your life.
Miff, all the very best from all of us here. Audience, I'm sure you'll join with me in wishing Paul Mifka all the best and thanking everybody for being part of our second last show, last program next week. Well done to Ben Cousins. Bye for now.
Bunnings Warehouse lowest prices are just the beginning. Bank West, SGIO Home, major partner of the West Coast Eagles, WA Salvage. They're not fancy, but they're cheap.